That's what they're hoping. They still have Bobby Wagner, the lone holdover from the Legion of Boom defense, leading the league in tackles in the NFL. But as a team, they are ranked dead last. Pete Carroll telling me that they are still very much a work in progress, but they are hopeful they'll be able to turn it around like they did last year when they were statistically one of the worst in the NFL the first half of the season, but then one of the best in the second half of the year. He told me that they are still developing their young guys, trying to figure out what they do best. And they are leaving no stone unturned, trying to figure out the Rams' offense, led now by Matthew Stafford. They're watching Stafford's old tape with Detroit. They're watching the 3 games they played last year against the Rams, as well as the 4 games the Rams have played this year. And Willie McGinnis, when they're looking at that Rams tape, what are they going to find?
A whole lot of Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford going to Cooper Kupp. And, I don't know, Omar and D. Hall, if this is the game for the Seahawks defense to get back on track, because the Rams are coming off a bad loss. Yeah. They're going to want to come out and they want to go do better. So in looking at this offense, what I can say, if Pete is doing his homework and Ken Norton, his defense, watch Cooper Kupp. They are putting him in a lot of different places. They're using him. He is the guy. Where he's at, that's where the ball is going. And some people say that they're getting a little predictable when it comes to some of their scheme and game planning. I know Sean McVay is a mastermind when it comes to the offense and setting teams up and people up and putting guys in certain formations and doing things off of that. But right now, through week 4, we've seen consistent Stafford, Kupp. They've even taken some of the reps away from Woods. And when you look at this defense, this offense, last week, this defense was prepared for that. They took Cooper Kupp away, and this offense went flat. So I expect Pete Carroll and them to try and do the same. Just don't know if they're able to do it.
Yeah, Willie, for me, you're absolutely right. When you look at Cooper Kupp's production in this offense, almost 30 catches, over 420-some yards. The next closest Rams receiver is Tyler Higbee, who has 15 receptions, 115 yards. And so you're absolutely right. This Seattle team, if they can take away Cooper Kupp, because in my opinion, Robert Woods is the best receiver on this Rams roster. His ability to run after the catch, he's physical at the point of attack, he blocks. He was their guy who did a little bit of everything. And in Sean McVay's offense, it was so unpredictable because they did move guys around. Even one of those first plays you showed down in the end zone where Robert Woods was picking for Cooper Kupp, you could see just how Robert Woods wasn't interested in even running that play because he knows that a lot of plays in this offense have been scripted for Cooper Kupp to have success. And if this offense wants to take the next step, they have to start spreading this football around to other guys because they have some explosive receivers on the outside.
Absolutely.
What's interesting, a lot of different dynamics, not just within the teams and their schemes, but also between these 2 QBs. Stafford and Wilson will meet for the first time as NFC West rivals. Both of these guys ranking in the top 3 in the league in terms of passer rating. This Access Game of the Week features the Bills and the Chiefs. Let's welcome in our featured QB every single week, Kurt Warner. And Kurt, I know you're excited about seeing these 2 quarterbacks, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, go head to head.
You're right, I am, MJ. And I want to see both of these guys kind of turn a corner. Up to this point, I know both of them are putting up some really good numbers. They're both really, really talented quarterbacks, but haven't been nearly as efficient this year as they were a year ago. And we can start with Josh Allen. Been very up and down in terms of completion percentage. I've always felt like technique-wise, his technique can get away from him, and he makes up for it with his unbelievable athleticism. But just not playing as efficiently, and I want to see that take an uptick, and he's going to probably have to do that this week. But what I will say about Josh Allen is I believe he's got a better team, or the team is playing better around him than they are in KC. The defense is playing much better than they did a year ago. They're able to run the football a little bit more, so that leads into the challenges for Patrick Mahomes, who, again, hasn't been quite as efficient, although we still see all the propensity to make the big play in this offense. But he's not going to be able to turn the football over. He's not going to be able to take chances with the football like he has the last couple weeks. He needs to get back to his efficiency. He hasn't been a guy that's turned the ball over very much in the past, but has done it a little bit this year by taking too many chances and trying to make the big play one too many times in these last couple games. So looking forward to this QB matchup, but I want to see both these guys kind of settle in and get back to the form that we saw last year.
Before the season started, Kurt, the big question was, are the Bills the biggest challenge to the Chiefs in the AFC? And so far, The answer seems to be yes. All right, Kurt, the Bears announced today that Justin Fields will be their starting QB moving forward. Some folks, present company included, would say, finally. But is this the right move, and do you think Justin Fields is ready?
MJ, I think it's the only move at this point in time, is that I'm not sure Justin Fields is 100% ready. We've seen that in his first 2 starts. It was a struggle against Cleveland, and you can say what you want about a lot of different things. I don't think he played a great football game. Obviously, he was better last week, but they also ran for 200 yards last week, so that makes the job easier for any quarterback, including a young quarterback. So I believe he's still got room to grow, but you go in there and you make improvement from week 1 to week 2. You win a football game. I think it's just the inevitable move that you have to move to the young guy now that he's been in the starting role and he's shown some signs of improvement. So even though Andy Dalton may be the better overall quarterback, this was the direction that you knew the Bears were going to go at some point. It just happened a little sooner than expected due to the injury to Andy Dalton.
Pulled in at the 5-yard line by A.J. Green into the end zone for the touchdown. A.J. Green just too strong, too big, too athletic.
Put it out there, let him go get it. That's exactly what A.J. Green did.
Yeah, AJ said we're getting in that end zone. All right, the Cardinals are only the 4th team since the 1970 NFL merger to start 4-0 while posting 30 or more points and 400 or more yards in all 4 wins. Now, each of the other 3 teams to do that, they reached the Super Bowl that season while their QB won the NFL MVP award. So the guy joining us right now is a major reason why the Cardinals are off to this hot start. 15 receptions for 248 yards and 2 tugs. A big hello to A.J. Green. Thanks for stopping by, A.J.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, listen, huge win on Sunday versus the Rams. It's your first season in Arizona, having spent your career in Cincy. How are you enjoying the NFC and arguably the toughest division in all of football, the NFC West?
Oh, I'm loving it. We have a special group here. We got a special group of receivers, special group of playmakers, man, that can make plays all over the field. I'm just here to do my job and have fun.
Now, I know it's early, but we're going to say it anyway, because your QB, Kyler Murray, has been playing like an MVP through all 4 games so far. Can you talk about the chemistry that the 2 of you have developed?
Like I said, we just come to work every week. You know, K1 is a guy that really doesn't, talk that much, and he leads by example. But, what I'm seeing out of him is, he's taking command of his offense. The way he runs the receiver meetings. We go meet with him, and he tells us what we need to do or what he sees, or I need to do this better. So I think his leadership is taking a next step, and, he always has the talent is there. I think for him, it's just the leadership, and he's taken over that role, and he's been unbelievable for us.
Now, I know you got to keep it even keel and even a little humble, AJ, but I am here to hype it up a little bit more because the numbers, quite frankly, speak for themselves. You guys are averaging over 440 yards of total offense and 35 points a game, which is the best in the league right now. So many targets for Kyler Murray to choose from. A 2-headed monster in the backfield with Connor Edmonds. What makes the offense just so special?
I think this guys, all 11 guys is doing the job. I think for us is, you don't want to disappoint that man next to you. And for us, we just go out there and play for each other. And whenever our numbers call, we got to make the plays. No egos on this offense, man. We got so many guys that can make plays all over the field. And that's what we do. That's how we run. Like I said, we don't focus on one guy. And then we have a guy like Hop on the other side just taking, the coverage away from a lot of, getting me single up, getting Kirk single up. So it makes our job much easier.
All right, well, by that same measure, why don't we give a little love to the defensive side of the ball, because you guys have some studs on defense. J.J. Watt, you got Chandler Jones, Buda Baker, and Isaiah Simmons. What's it like watching those guys in action?
Oh, man, it's tough. It's tough every day going against those guys. We go against the ones quite a bit during practice, and it's always a struggle. When you got a guy like Buda and Chan and Zay back there, it's tough. So, but I think that gets us prepared for the weekend going against, the next team, #1 defense, when we see that every day in practice.
Perfect preparation, because you guys square off against the 49ers this upcoming Sunday. What kind of challenges does their defense pose?
oh man, they can get after the quarterback. When they got D Ford and the Bosa brother rushing, and then you got those corners back there, and you got the linebacker 54 and Ward at safety. They got a very talented defense. We got our hands, full with them, and we prepared the week like we do every week, and see what happens.
All right, AJ Green, thank you so much for coming through. We'll be looking out for you on Sunday for sure. How are the Seahawks planning to put together four solid quarters here?
Hey, MJ, despite the Seahawks' 2-2 record, they've led by double digits in every game they've played this season. But as you mentioned, they're looking to put that first complete game of the season on Thursday night against the Rams. In their first 3 contests of the year, they've been dominant at times in the first half, averaging almost 21 points per game in the first halves of those games. Then on Sunday against the 49ers, they started slowly in their first 5 drives, a combined -7 yards. But like we've seen so often with the Seahawks during the Russell Wilson era, they hung around and eventually won going away. Part of the reason for that inconsistency, Russell Wilson says, is that 3rd and long. More than half of the third downs the Seahawks have faced this season has been 3rd and 7 or longer. Trying to improve that mark against the Rams will be key for them on Thursday.